What's up, guys? It's Niah, and welcome back to Blackwall, a show where we talk to anonymous people about their lives. Today, we are watching a video about a man who left his wife for her sister.
Nasty bastard.
So, if you have any stories that you'd like to share, you can go ahead and use the link down below, or you can email you can use the. If you have any stories that you'd like to share, just use the link down below to answer some questions and join our call, or you can email our show at blackwallconfessions@gmail.com. All right, let's get into it.
What you mean, let's get into it? What do you mean, let's get into it?
I think I would just be completely disgusted. I'm just confused and concerned.
Today, we're speaking to a man who reached out. Very simple email. The message says, I left my wife of 7 years for her sister, who was married to my best friend.
Ooh.
This feels like a very forbidden dynamic. This feels like something maybe some guys only fantasize about, but would never dare to pull it off. But we're going to find out what happened here. So we've got the guest on. Thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So can you just, I guess, start by telling us about your marriage first, just your wife and, when you met her sister and how, I guess, the dynamic with you and her sister came to be.
So I met my wife in late 2012. We were together for about 2 years when she got pregnant with our son. Met her sister, back in 2012 whenever I met her too. We got married before our son was born. That way, we just felt better about it. Marriage was good for a while, but my ex-wife now kind of made me feel like a single father most of our relationship. And, she never really helped with the kids. She kind of destroyed my financial life for most of our marriage and just didn't.
Okay, I think I kind of know the direction that this is about to go in, mostly when he starts saying all of the things that he did wrong. Because, I know I said I did this, but you got to understand she's a bad person. She did this and she did that. And if you were in my situation, you would have done the same thing.
Yeah, he sounded like an asshole to me. I didn't like how he said when she got pregnant. No, when we got pregnant or when I got her pregnant. And then he said, we got married so we can feel good about it. You didn't feel good about getting her pregnant at first? Oh, we need to feel great about it, so we probably want to hurry up and get married before the baby is born. So he's already immature as hell, and I'm surprised. See, this is the problem. We don't make sure we check out the people that we're going to be in relationships with, or we're going to let smash without protection. So both of them was just silly. He's an idiot so far. I'm sorry. Yeah, I saw that too, baby girl. He's trying to paint her in a like she's the bad guy. She didn't raise the kids. She didn't this. Her feet stink. Come on, bro. Relax.
Tell me about it. And kind of trapped me into having another kid with the whole, it'll fix things, it'll make things better, and it really didn't.
What do you mean by she messed up your financial situation?
She was taking loans out in my name, credit cards, not paying them. She had a car repoed that I was paying for. She was just taking the money and kind of putting it in her own account to spend on things.
Oh yeah, she was dirty. She was dirty. I don't know, I'm gonna sleep with your sister now, dirty, but she was dirty.
Yeah, I wish I would have listened a little bit more because, I get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, please clean that up.
But I understand.
Yeah.
Without telling me?
Whoa, why didn't you catch that?
Because on the loan paperwork, her phone number was on there because it was through a credit union that her family's part of. So whenever everything was late, they would call her and not me. So I thought it was getting paid.
Jeez. Okay, that's brutal. So it seems like it wasn't exactly what you signed up for, but you did end up having a second child, you said?
We did in 2018.
And
my daughter was born.
Okay. And I guess the lesson here is just having another kid doesn't necessarily fix things.
It made things a lot worse.
What was the state of your marriage at that point in 2018? Like, why were you like, if all this was kind of, were you aware of like the financial situation, like at the time of like in 2018, like before you had your daughter?
Well, 2018 was when it started getting real bad with the financial stuff. The car was actually repoed in 2018, right after my daughter was born. But I didn't want to be that guy that abandoned his kids. I mean, I wouldn't have abandoned them, but I didn't want to be known as like, hey, like he left his wife who had 2 kids. And I just didn't want that, I guess, persona around my name at the time.
Okay. Obviously down the line, I guess that changes. You sort of hit a breaking point, but her sister is someone that was in your life as long as you knew her. Was there sort of always an attraction, or what was your relationship with her?
From the time me and her met, we kind of just clicked, and for the longest time, it was just friends. Like, we were best friends. Like, we would go, like, if my, now ex-wife was working on a weekend, me and her sister would go out and grab lunch.
Red flag. Red damn flag, bro.
I don't think that it would be suspicious to think that my husband wants to have lunch with my sister. No, absolutely not. I think that's normal. I think that's a normal thing to happen. Like, especially if you don't think that this man that you fell in love with and that you married is going to fall in love with your sister. I think it's a pure thing to think. Like, oh, they're having lunch together. Cool.
Regularly, though, like we're regularly having lunch. Like, when do we talk enough to know that you're free and I'm free for lunch?
I think the way that you're thinking about it, though, is in I'm out to get you, what are you doing? Like, you have to be in a very defensive mode, though, to feel that way. Like, as a woman who trusts her husband, I'm not going to be, like, super defensive. Where are you going out? Why you got shoes on? You're going out, why are you eating with my sister? If there's nothing to be defensive about, there is no reason to really question it. Like, oh, he likes to go to lunch with my sister, like, on Sundays, I guess. Okay.
Now, see, that right there is green.
It's interesting the way that we're going into this, because I have been married for, going on 2 years now. You've been married for 26 years. So you are thinking about it in a, I don't know, I'm a veteran. I don't know. You've been here for a while.
Wow.
I don't know. You're
Well, I'm just
ministry. I'm a newborn here.
No, I think the way you think is, I believe that would be beautiful if you were going to build a relationship with. Look, Josh stays right down the street. Why not go to lunch let's go to lunch. Let's go to lunch. It's not a big deal. Me, I just look at it as, why do you, like, unless you coming over, what? You always coming over here to see the kids. Why aren't we taking the kids with us to lunch? Their kids are small. Where are the kids? Are they at work? Are they at school? Are they at daycare? Are they with us as we go to school? Okay, let's just listen a little bit more, because I'm getting upset with this dude and I don't even know his name. The internet is interneting. The internet is internet.
Just hang out. There was anything there at the time until the summer of 2021. But for most of it, we were just really close friends, and that was really it for so long.
There was never like some undertones of like flirting throughout these years?
Yeah, like in hindsight, do you think there was anything there?
Not that I know of. I mean, I never really felt it until, closer to the time that things happened between me and her. I mean, maybe other people could look back at it and say yes, but neither of us really felt that way. Like, we've talked about that before, and neither of us ever really felt like it was there.
Okay. I think that is a lie. Mostly because I know men, and I know that as a woman, I can go into a situation, I can have guy friends and never like them, but guys, I think, immediately know how they feel about a woman. And I think that he probably didn't go in, I guess, with the purest Like maybe the first few times that he hung out, I was like, okay, it's cool, but I do think that he knew much sooner than he's trying to admit that he liked her more than that.
We got to have a conversation about how you think about men. That's what we do. We probably get into an argument too. I'm letting you know that right now.
What?
Because men are human just like women. We don't know. I mean, it's most times it depends on what's already on your mind. If your thinking is bogged down by work or other stresses, or I mean, because me, like your mother said all the time, I have a horrible flirt detector, and I have a horrible gaydar detector. That's what your mother say all the time. And she's right. And most times I'm just there for the moment. Like, okay, where we going? I'm doing this, that, and the other. I'm just there for the moment. That's it. Once I'm done there, I probably won't even remember I ate what I ate if I go somewhere. But at the end of the day, most men are not just, oh, it's a woman. I already know that I'm going to hit that. And if she ever give me a chance, I'm gonna be there. No.
So maybe you're the 5% then. Maybe you're the 5%. I'm not talking about the 5%. I'm talking about most men. I think initially when you meet a woman, they already have her in a box. Which is why if my friends come to me and be like, I've been dating him for 7 years now, and I don't know what he's not going to. He already knows that he's not going to marry you. So I don't even know why you're wasting your time doing that when he already put you in a box. I think that many men think that way, and him going into it initially, I think was like I like hanging out with your sister, she's cool. Now, probably after the first few times, it was like, she listens to me. She hears me. Wow. And then you're not going out this much and not talking about anything. So I think then it turns into a complaining session. Like, this is what your sister does, because I'm not stupid. I know that there has to be more to these conversations.
Far more to these conversations. And we're going on lunch dates for 3 years. Come on, bruh. Come on, man. I'm not, listen, we whatever, bro. This dude.
Okay.
Something.
So what happens summer 2021?
So summer of 2021, her and my quote unquote best friend, her husband, they started having a lot of issues, while me and my ex were also having a lot of issues. And we kind of were just both there for each other. We both knew what the other one was going through. So it was easy to talk to each other about what was going on in our relationships. And it really just started as, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I said something that could be, interpreted as like flirting. Oh. And she kind of did it back. And like, at first we both were kind of weary about it and didn't really want to go down that path. But as things got worse in her relationship and things got worse in my relationship, we both kind of, just went with the flow.
Okay, so was there some overlap between your marriage and this sister?
Yes, there was. About a year and a half worth.
Wow.
It's a decent amount.
So what, you just said before, like, I didn't want to be a guy that, left his wife when they have 2 kids. What is that shift that occurs that makes you take the leap to, be with her sister while you're still with her? Because isn't that worse in your mind than just
It is,
leaving?
yes, it is.
So what really pushed you to do that?
I think for me, just seeing how bad it was getting and kind of realizing that there was no fixing it and I just was never going to be happy in it anymore was kind of just the thing in my mind that said, I can't keep living this way, and I needed to make a change.
Okay. The first time you were...
Dude is forever a victim. And he's not the victim. I don't get it. Here's one thing that I have an issue with. Your sister-in-law is not your damn friend. Her husband is your best friend. Your sister-in-law is your sister-in-law. And he didn't call her that once. My wife's sister and I were really good friends. Great friends. She was married to my best friend. You and your best friend should be the ones going to lunch. I don't get the whole, he won't even acknowledge her. He didn't look at her as a sister-in-law. He always looked at her as just a girlfriend, a potential lady friend to talk sugar honey iced tea with about their relationships. If I was her husband, who was his best friend, I would have had issues with him. I mean, with her going to, like, what? Why y'all always going to lunch? What's this about?
True. That's true. And I already knew that it was more than just we're going to lunch and I like to hang out with her. She's a great sister-in-law. Like, I knew it had to be you're spilling tea kind of situation on what's happening in your marriage. And that is one thing that is just completely off limits. Married people's problems are nobody else's problems but their problems.
You better go ahead. You better preach.
I think it is people are human. So I'm not saying that you can't like feel these ways about your partner. Like, I'm not saying that, but to stay in a marriage and I think disrespected to the point where you're stepping out, and not just stepping out with a random person. This is my sister. And I think on the other side of it, I know I'm texting my sister. How was your day, sis? What's going on? How's your husband? How's life? And you are also lying to me.
How is my husband? How is my husband? Jesus, come on now. This is just foolish, bro. This is foolish. Your teeth are absolutely white than a mug, and I'm just gonna keep my mouth closed for the rest of the daggone show because I'm feeling insecure. For real.
With her sister, were you like, oh shit, we just did something that we can't undo?
Yeah, it actually, the weird thing is it actually happened in my car. I told my ex that I was running to the store, and her sister was on her way home, and we were just texting, and she said she wanted to talk, and I met her in a parking lot, and it kind of just went from there. And yeah, both of us kind of had that like, oh shit, we just did this.
So just to back up a little bit, you did say quote unquote best friend. Why did you describe it as that?
I kind of so I knew him in high school. We both played lacrosse together at different schools, but my dad coached him. So like we knew each other. And when him and, now my girlfriend got together, me and him got close again. But I kind of realized who he was after they had their daughter. He wasn't really a hands-on dad. He was extremely lazy. He was kind of just a piece of shit. To his kid and his wife at the time. And once I kind of realized like who he was as a person, because that's whenever it really started to show, was after their daughter was born. Me and him really started to disconnect. And the funny thing is actually my ex-wife got me the job where I work because she works there. And her sister's husband is actually a driver at the same company.
So you guys all work at the same place?
So me and my ex work on the same floor. We're both in the logistics company upstairs, and the ex-husband works downstairs as a driver. We don't intertwine at all. But he was pissed whenever I got the job because he felt he should have it. And that was really whenever I figured out who he was, because, I mean, he was just running his mouth to everybody about how he deserved the job over me. And the guy that interviewed me, who's the vice president of the company, even said they would have never hired him because of his attitude.
Wow. So during this year and a half, you're working with your wife, sleeping with her sister, and also working with her sister's husband.
Yes, but like I said, I didn't really ever see him.
Okay.
You saw her all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still see her all the time?
My ex?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's two different sides to our office, and she's on the other side.
Wow. Okay, so for that year and a half, what was going through your mind? I mean, were you guys sort of just having this affair in a honeymoon phase? Did you kind of plan with her, like, at some point we have to either tell everyone about this or stop doing it? Did you have a plan at the time?
We really didn't. I think for both of us, it was just kind of like an escape from, the bullshit in our lives where we could just be with each other, have those moments. And then, like, we really never talked about actually being together. or really telling anybody. I mean, there were a couple points where like she called it off for like a couple weeks, or I would call it off for a couple weeks, and it would just kind of end up coming back. And then it all really changed in this, I guess it was the spring of 2022 is when things kind of took a rocket ship to where we are now.
And I'm assuming that they both know that you guys are together.
Yeah, so we actually the four of us actually all went to Mexico in May of 2022.
Wait a minute. This is getting real crazy. Like, okay.
What?
All right.
Wait. Okay, number one, you work with the entire family.
The entire family.
Everybody, you're working next to Nick. You're working next to Sandy. You're acting like you have a wonderful married life. You're driving to work with each other. You're having an affair with her sister while you work in. How do you? But it's okay because her husband was a terrible father.
Yep.
He
was
ran over
becoming a
the
piece of
apple
crap.
time. I'm pretty sure that I saw him shoot a kid with a paintball gun on my way to work today. So he deserved it.
Yes, that's what he's giving off. He's giving off, they both deserve what we're doing to them. We are the victims here. They deserve it. Wow, you're right. That's the energy he's giving off the entire time, that they deserve this. Like, he's always painting it. When the guy came back to the question and said, I noticed that when you mentioned her husband, you said my so-called best friend. He still hasn't named anything that his so-called best friend has done negatively to him. Like, what has he done to you?
No remorse. No remorse.
This dude is a jerk. And I thought that people didn't call this line unless nobody knew. I thought nobody knew. Apparently, they already go through their stuff and stuff get blown up, and they're like, I just want to tell the world my story, but I don't want people to know who it is.
I mean, it's interesting, and I would definitely listen. I just think that it is crazy to go on a vacation
Yep.
with your wife and two unknowing, they're just both unknowing characters in this little storyline that you've created. This is bizarre. So bizarre that I would think that you were joking if you said that you have been doing this with my sister. A weird, dark joke, but
Yeah, that's what it seems so far. But it might turn into a Tyler Perry type of plot where he says, when they found out about us, they said, well, we knew. We were dating each other as well. So I found out his wife was dating his best friend, and it might be this whole thing. And then he got really pissed off, like, but you were the bad ones. I get to do this, not you. This dude he's very immature as hell. I guess that makes him a man, because men are immature. We're immature as hell, and we petty. All right.
And that's when her and her ex had a lot of issues while we were down there. And when we came back is when she decided she was moving out. And that's kind of when me and her started having the discussions of me and her being together.
I gotta
and how that would
know,
look.
this is like a movie. Like, when you were all four were in Mexico, did you guys like sneak away and do it?
We did not do that. There were a couple times where we did sneak away and like had like makeout sessions, but nothing more than that.
You're like living on the edge. Like, was there any fear, or I'm just trying to get to like what you're feeling in that moment? I mean, I'm sure, just blinded by the lust or love or everything of the situation, but it's just ballsy all around.
It's extremely ballsy. And I knew it, but I think there was also a part of me that like just wanted out of my marriage so bad that there was that, like, if I get caught, I really don't give a shit.
Wow. Did you ever think about your kids in that moment? Was that something that would come up of like, if they find out, how are they going to take this? Because that's their aunt, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we really never went down that path because we kind of figured if it ever did come out that like the kids wouldn't find out about it. Like,
Well, what? Dumbass, Mister. I don't give a crap if I was already done with my marriage, so I really didn't give a crap if I got caught. If you got caught, that's her sister, and if her sister is the one that's doing it to my husband, then she's not gonna let her sister see her children anymore. You damn sure not coming to my house anymore, no matter where we are. Even if we're no longer gonna be together, so I'm not gonna have my husband. I'm speaking for his wife. She's not gonna have her husband, and she's not gonna have her sister. But this dude don't give a crap. I don't get that part.
Yeah, that's the most obvious thing that kids would catch on to. That, like, the sisters share the same mother. That's their grandparent. Like, they would, of course, be talking about they're going to go to the same family functions. This is just, you can't just block them out. Like, oh, your ex-wife, okay, they go back to their family. I'm going back to mine. This is one family. That's crazy.
It's freaking nuts. This dude, he clearly don't care. But
like everyone would just keep it hush hush until we kind of decided we were going to be together. Then it became more of a conversation topic.
So your kids are probably young enough that they wouldn't even really, I guess, realize, or would they realize?
I guess what we need to get to is, how did this all come out? Because now everyone knows, right? So what was the moment for you guys? How do you even approach that subject?
Yeah, so she moved out right after we got back from Mexico. I think it was like 2 weeks after. She got her own place, and things were still going as they were. It actually was my stupid ass that got us busted, because for her birthday she wanted to go see the new Thor movie when it came out. So I told my ex that I was going to a softball game, went to the movies with her, and I left the tickets in my wallet. And the next morning, my ex went through my car, and she found the tickets and confronted me.
I was like, you went to the fucking movies.
Yeah.
And you just took that moment to tell her everything?
Well, no. So I was actually asleep when she found the tickets, and she woke me up, and we were actually going to help her sister move a couch into her new place. And when we got there, she confronted her, and she called me inside, and she was like, okay, we just need to come clean. So we came clean. My ex, obviously flipped out. The kids were all outside. My ex called her ex, who then showed up and kept telling me that he wanted to punch me in the face, but he said that he knew what would happen if he did. So that was just a big thing. And I think it was 3 weeks after that, I ended up moving out into her house.
Oh, wow.
You moved into the sister's house?
Yeah. Now, the funny part about that is, though, my ex at one point during the time period where I was getting ready to move out actually told me that I could stay with her, but go see her sister on the weekends.
Wait, what?
Wait, so
like she was accepting
you heard
of
that
it?
right. She wasn't accepting, but she didn't want me to leave. She kept pulling the whole, like, I can't live without you. I can't be without you. And to try to entice me to stay, she was going to let me live with her Monday through Thursday and then go be with her sister on the weekends.
Whoa.
Wow.
Did you think
so
about
almost
that?
like a cake and eat.
You could have done that and had a reality show.
That's what everybody else told me too.
Okay. I would like to give a moment. I want to give a moment to the part where he said she called her ex-boyfriend, and he said that he wanted to fight her husband, but he didn't want to because he knew what was going to happen if he tried to fight him. So he wasn't. You had to throw that part in, the part that probably didn't even happen. Like, I know
didn't even happen.
I know what's gonna happen if I try to punch you in the face, so I'm not going to. This is bizarre.
I didn't want the smoke.
Okay.
First of all, one thing that I'm missing is he never told us how his wife found out that it was her sister. All he said was she found some tickets. She went through his car and she found the tickets, and while he was asleep, she approached him about it. And she also approached her sister about it. How did she find out that it was her sister?
But I think women's intuition, though. I think that after you get past or after you realize, okay, well, something is happening, he seems off, this is weird. So then you start noticing everything. Because I don't think that men realize that the person, like, you know yourself, but your wife probably knows you a little bit better than you know yourself. We know, I see the way you eat, I see the way you sleep, I see what makes you happy, what makes you sad.
Creep, you see the way we sleep. Don't be watching me while I sleep. You sleep. Go to sleep.
Natural. So she probably already, after she realized, okay, he's been acting weird. Okay, I'm gonna let him go out with my sister. His smile is a little bit bigger today after he went out with my sister. Didn't notice that at first. Then you start noticing patterns. So that's probably what happened, but I don't completely know. I also don't think that it's completely true. It could be, but that is completely true that she said, okay, you can stay with me Monday through Thursday or whatever he said, and then you can go be with her on the weekends. Like, most women don't do that. And once you realize that, and I think once you've been embarrassed to that point, it would just make me feel sad and it would make me feel weak. And also, that's kind of strange to do that with your sister, especially. That's weird. Because she loved him so much, because he's so great and so perfect.
They were understanding of it?
They were actually almost excited.
Interesting.
What? Why?
They're kids. You're my uncle and my
You're
stepdad.
asking the wrong person there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess.
they've always been close, but it was more or less, I think, the fact that like everybody was still sort of together.
Got it.
Yeah, like maybe still young enough too that it's just like this is everyone's family. Like this is just our group
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah,
Like a sleepover. We're having a permanent sleepover.
Yeah.
At fucking.
basically, yeah.
Wow. So right now, today, you're divorced,
Still in the process.
in the process of getting divorced. And is that the same for your current girlfriend? So your ex-wife's sister is your current girlfriend now.
Correct.
And she's divorced
Her
or
pa-
in the process?
Her paperwork is signed and sent in. We're just waiting on the papers to come back to say it's official.
And you two are living together.
We actually bought our own place in June.
Oh, serious. Are you
So,
gonna get married?
probably not. I don't think either of us want to be married again.
Ah, okay. It's just partners, life partners.
We just want to hang out.
Yeah.
Just wanna hang
And you
out.
still work with your ex and her ex.
Yeah.
Do you? So like, have you guys ever, like, do you guys interact at all? Like,
So,
You know how when, like, I don't know if you know anybody who work with their spouse, but they typically drive to work together. So at first she was driving to work with her husband. And now she's driving to work with her brother-in-law. Like, wait a minute.
That is.
Wait 1 minute. Let me tell y'all something, boys and girls, if y'all are still watching this. If someone would cheat with you, they will cheat on you. Let me repeat this. If they will cheat with you, they will cheat on you. And the process will go just like the cycle will go over and over and over. So
Yeah, and he's grimy for what he did. I don't even know who's worse. And honestly, saying who's worse in this situation is not even beneficial. They both suck. But I think that in this situation, even though that's my husband and I'd be pissed at him, maybe because I have a sister and I have such a close relationship with my sister, that part would just hurt. I think the hurt between the two would be different. The hurt that I have with him would be, I'm gonna have to quit this job and move to another state, because if I see you, I'm probably gonna try to punch you in the face every time that I see you. With my sister, I would just cry every time that I saw her. I would be heartbroken that you could lie to me and do something like this to me. Like, I don't care if we don't have the greatest terms or whatever. even though I have a great relationship with my sister. But even still, let's say they didn't have a good relationship.
Yeah.
How could you do that?
You notice he haven't said anything negative about the wife's sister once.
Yep. The honeymoon, they better stay together forever. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it.
I bet she's not even pretty. I bet she is not the pretty sister. Like, not that because some people aren't blessed to have two pretty sisters. You know that. You know what I mean? But in a lot of households, it don't work that way, and that's crazy, man. And what about the parents? Are the parents cool with this? Did your ex-wife's dad say anything to you?
Honestly, as a parent of two adult kids I'm getting a phone call from my daughter whose husband is cheating on her. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Getting a phone call from the other daughter. Well, you know what she did to me in the 6th grade. She deserved this. You know she's a terrible person. I would just turn my phone off. I'm not gonna. Y'all handle this because I don't even know what to do.
I will honestly say, we failed as parents. Like, if this is happening, we failed as parents. Like, come on, for real?
There's a loyalty system here between the husband and between the sister. What happened to girl code? Like, dang, not even girl code with my sister?
Ain't no, in their family, none. Very selfish, but my gracious.
As weird as this is going to sound, my ex is much more accepting of everything now. She has her own new boyfriend who is Mr. Richie Rich and buys her everything and pays for everything. So she does come around.
Mr. Richie Rich. Oh, she upgraded? That's what you get, nigga.
No, he's a lame that can't fight, and he just so happens to have money, but probably not more money than me.
Yeah, exactly. He's Mr. Richie Rich and buys her everything. Mr. Richie Rich. He hating like a mug. That's what you get. He is hating Mr. Richie Rich. Richie Rich. So now when y'all go through tough times and your sister will say, well, I can just call my sister and she can help us out. Shit.
No.
Nope.
That family job, you better figure it out. Figure it out.
So what will happen? Like, we're about to be kicked out in the street. We need your help, Niah. You're gonna be like, oh, well, sorry.
The hard part about it, though, what frustrates me is, if this were me in this situation and they were going through hard times, I would still help. But that's the crazy part.
I wouldn't.
It's just the kind of heart that I have. I feel like I would still help. It would hurt, but just because you suck doesn't mean that I want to see you out there in the streets. I mean, I don't want to see you in a mansion, but
there is so many success stories that all have them living in the street at some point. Happened to Denzel Washington's son. It happened to Tyler Perry. It happened to dude that played Ghost on Power. I don't know his name, Spanish dude. You know what I'm talking about. All these people, there's a lot of people that had to sleep on the, what's her name? The girl I don't even know her name, girl comedian, but it happens all the time. So maybe this will give her some character. Yeah, you and your kids go and sleep out on the street for a little bit. Me and Richie Rich, we're going to pray for you. We're going to pray for you. You deserve this. You earned every penny of this. I wouldn't be with Mr. Rich if it weren't for you, idiot.
They have got back to texting. They're Snapchat friends again, so that's something.
The sisters?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they're actually in a good place now with everything. Her ex-husband and me, not as much. He's kind of more defiant on the whole thing. But he also he's a different type of person, so I don't know how long it'll take him.
What about the family? Like, it's kind of the same in-law type of situation. Like, are you still showing up at Thanksgiving? Just different seat at the table?
So last year I was actually invited back to Thanksgiving. But there were two cousins that didn't want me there because they thought it would be awkward. So I didn't go. And for the longest time, a lot of people just kind of avoided the situation. Like they would talk to all of us separately, but not about what's going on. But in the past, like I'd say 4, 5, 6 months, probably since the new year, everybody's just kind of been more accepting of it, and no one really cares anymore, because I think everybody sees my ex happy, everybody sees me and my girlfriend now happy, so everybody's just kind of like, okay, like this ended up being better for everybody than we thought.
Yeah. Was there ever an issue with their parents? Like, did you have to like have a sit down talk with them and explain, or did this just kind of all organically unfold and everyone accepted it?
The mother, I did have to have a sit down talk with. And she's much more understanding of the situation because she has seen how my ex was with me. But I still have not talked to their dad.
Ooh.
But I will see him on Saturday for my daughter's birthday party, so that'll be fun.
Oh, wow. FaceTime us. I want to see. Listen, I love your daughter. I know you've heard that before. That's crazy.
Listen,
Wow.
I don't know what kind of family they come from, but I'm telling you, if this was something that was going on in our family, everybody talking about it. I don't know if they're talking about it in front of you, but yeah, at Thanksgiving when you walk in with my sister, I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, hey guys, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. No, that's not the energy that's happening right now, unless they're completely oblivious to everything that's happening within their surroundings. I just don't know of a mom that'd be like, you're divorcing my daughter, but I get it. And then you're leaving her for Susan, who's so much better than her.
So much better.
Better grades than her and way better hair than her.
Always been my favorite. Always been my favorite.
I get it. That's crazy.
Yeah. You know what? You never know though. It might be some parents like that. It might be a mom like that. The dad, he never talked to him yet.
Mm.
Oh, the dad's staying away because he might. Ooh,
How would you respond to that?
Ooh, when you see him Saturday, ooh, I hope they did a recap. I want to know what happened when you see
How would
him.
you respond though?
I want to know what happened. Yeah, I want to know what happened when he seen the dad.
I can send you guys invitations. It'll be free for
I don't know if I want to be there for this, honestly.
Wow. Okay. Do you have any regrets about how this happened, or like for you, is it just it seems like everyone sort of ended up in an okay place, so it all worked out?
So for me, there's the regret that I have is how it came out. We had, like, before the tickets had dropped, we had discussions about telling them what was going on, and then the ticket thing happened, so it kind of just rushed everything. Outside of that, I really don't have any regrets. I mean, not ashamed to say it, but like when I left my ex, my credit score was like 447 because of her. I have it almost to 600 now. I was able to put my name on a house that we bought together. I was able to get a new car. So I've turned a lot of my life around since all of this came out and happened. So there's not a lot of regret except for how it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids seem to be okay with everything and like adjusting.
Yeah. So like I said, we have the same schedule for custody. So we have the kids, we get them at 2:00 on Saturday, and we have them till Tuesday night, till Wednesday morning, and then every other Tuesday we don't have them. And they've adjusted well. I mean, my daughter and her daughter both just started kindergarten. My son just started 3rd grade. But they've all seemed to kind of relish in what's going on. Like, my son had really bad anxiety that he actually just got out of therapy for. Like, this was prior to all this happening. He's had it since he was like 3, but he actually just graduated from therapy. He doesn't need it anymore. So, I mean, the kids have been great, and they kind of just love having me and her around. I mean, I don't want to talk a lot of shit on my ex, but like, my kids tell me all the time that she doesn't really pay attention to them. But like, I guess you'd say their aunt, when we have them, pays a lot of attention and like treats them the way they should be.
Yeah. Do you ever plan on having kids with your current girlfriend? So their aunt?
No.
Okay.
No.
That would make things even more interesting.
Yeah.
Do you
No
do you foresee maybe a conversation again down the line when they're older and kind of start really understanding this family dynamic and how things shaped out? And do you feel prepared for that one day?
Yeah, I mean, we've had that conversation where we know that at some point that like the questions will come up and we'll have to explain. But my other thought on it is like they were so young whenever all this happened that it's just gonna kind of be normal for them. Mm-hmm. Like that, like not normal, but like it'll feel normal for them because they've been in it for so long.
Yeah, and I guess it seems like just understanding this and hearing this story, like for you, like this is a partner you wanted. Like you love your girlfriend now. You just bought a house together. Like it wasn't like I don't like how my wife's treating me, so I'm gonna get this retaliation by sleeping with her sister. Like you guys fell in love, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like whenever we started, messing around, like I feel like I developed feelings faster than she did. Like it took her a little bit. She just I think she just liked having somebody that cared about her. And as we went on, like I think she finally started to realize like that she also had them. And I mean, she's told me that too. But I mean, we're in a good place now. And so is my ex. Her ex now lives in his mom's basement.
Well, it's a very interesting story here. What would you say to people who, I'm assuming there would be some people in the comments who will be like, whatever you did was completely fucked up, and
I'm gonna get trashed in the comments.
But like, do you have any sort of defense or just kind of like, I guess,
just justification?
Yeah, justification for these people that may say those things, or what?
I mean, for me, it's just, I turned my life around with this. And I mean, the stigma is going to be there that like, it was her sister and you're a piece of shit, you're an asshole. But, like me and her have told everybody, like, if we're happy, we don't really care what anybody else says.
Fair enough.
All right, that's the problem now. Everybody's always on as long as we're happy, screw everybody else. It's about us. We'll blow up our kids' lives. We'll blow up their mom's life. We don't care, don't give a damn about the parents, nor their in-laws, anybody else to hear about this. Whatever. We get to meet somewhere and do it. You know what I mean? I always felt like I married the wrong sister. Come on, bro. This dude is just selfish. At the end of the day, I'm not going to try to act like he's supposed to be perfect or anything. Everybody got their different dynamics and how they handle things in relationships. But this was just very messy, very sloppy.
It is messy. And the hard thing about it is, I know that in his mind, he'd say, well, you guys don't know her side of the story. And that's true. We don't really know her side of the story. We don't really know exactly what she's done outside of what he said that she's done. I think where I draw his character from, what I think about his character comes directly from him saying nothing bad about what he's done at all. He did not take accountability for anything.
At all.
Everybody was wrong. Mr. Richie Rich is wrong. Mr. I can't fight you. I want to fight you, but I can't because you're too strong. Mm-hmm. Is wrong. The wife is wrong. And everybody else is wrong except for him. And that is the crappy part about it, because you didn't say marrying somebody like that is scary, especially if you have children with them, because, God forbid anything happens, nothing will happen because I don't believe in divorce. But, even having children, when I have children with TJ, God forbid, but I could not bash their father in front of my kids, because this is somebody that I chose. They didn't choose him. So my relationship with him would be different from however they see their dad. Like my dad, you're my hero. So,
oh,
I mean, you taught me everything about how a man is supposed to treat me. You are the first man that ever, loved me. So
Oh, my baby.
things about my dad, that would really hurt me as a kid. I don't care if you're going through something with my dad. Okay, that's your problem. You keep that to yourself. Adult problems are adult problems. Kid problems are kid problems. And he seems like the type of guy that would be over there trying to be the favorite between the two. Mommy really sucks. Mommy wouldn't want you to have this candy, but I'm gonna give you this candy because mommy's a bad mom. That is a scary place to be. So I feel for her just for that. I don't even have to know anymore. I feel for her just for that.
Well, he's a boy in a man's body.
Yeah.
And he sounds like his body is out of shape. Sound like he had a dad bod since he was 18. And as a matter of, and also, he's not a man. And what I mean is, if you're gonna do that, bro, take that away from the family. Even if I did do it, and I'm in the bed with my wife's sister, I will look into my wife's sister's eyes, and I will say, "How could you do this to your sister? You nasty mother! How could you do this to your sister?" Like, I think God put me here to test you. You
Like,
failed. You
happened.
miserable.
So psycho.
You miserable mother effer you. How could you do this to your sister? I cannot believe you. I will never trust you ever in my life. If you do this to your sister, I know you do it to me. I'm just a stranger.
A woman that would not trying to bash women. I'm a woman.
Women are that cold?
A woman that would do that. I think people are gonna be mad, but it is what it is. Men cheating and women cheating is different. So I think that both are wrong, especially in marriage, because this is a covenant that we just entered into with God. But I think for men, it's very physical for the most part when that happens. Now there's an emotional aspect to it, which is different. But for women, you have to be emotionally involved there for this to happen, and for her to go through that for a year and a half, lying, cheating, not just lying to your husband, lying to your sister. Being that great of a liar is scary. That is terrifying.
Well, they're lying to each other all their lives, so
Yeah.
it's another lie.
But let us know what you guys think down below. I mean, this was really crazy. Once again, if you have anything that you want to share, just use the link down below. Or you can send us your story through email at blacklawconfessions@gmail.com. I don't even know what to say about this. I really don't even know what to say. It was interesting though. I really enjoyed it, and always enjoyed talking to my dad. That was dope too. But yeah, also shout out to the OPL podcast. They're a really dope channel. And you guys should check them out as well.
Y'all are dope. Y'all are dope. If they ever see this, y'all are dope. And if they don't, send it to OPL. Other People's Lives is what that stands for. Other people's lives. Y'all send that to them. And don't try to go ahead of us and look at all 8 videos because, be impressed. You know what I mean? Tell them that we sent you though.
Yes, great content.